Hello, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? It is time to cook some pork fried rice. So all of you that are on the Everyone Eats channel that knows me from my main channel, Biggestrayray, welcome to the Biggestrayray kitchen. This is our first live stream cooking edition. And tonight we're going to be making some pork fried rice. So hang out with me. I've got two cameras set up. We've got this one, obviously, I'm talking to you guys on. I've got another one right down over here where the magic's going to happen. So we've already got a little bit of a fire started. I was preheating this guy just a bit. Ooh, I can feel the heat coming off of that. So I've got to get it ready. The first thing we've got to do is steam some rice. So this recipe calls for 1.5 cups of rice, which is going to require 2 cups of water. Now, pro trick that I learned from Wifey, who's an expert baker, is to spray the inside of your pot just a little bit with some cooking spray. It'll keep that rice from sticking. It's a fantastic little trick. So just diving right into this. I'll pour my water in there. Ooh, that pot is hot. It's making noises. So to do this right, you want to make sure you have a pot that has a steamer lid. If you don't have a pot with a steamer lid, use a small plate or a bowl, something that'll go over the top of that, because we want to keep that steam inside. So right here, I turn the heat all the way up. I need to bring this to a roaring boil. I'm going to turn the heat down at that point, put in my rice, give it a little stir, and then turn the heat all the way down and just let it simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes. So in this case, we want our rice to be slightly al dente so it can finish cooking right over here in this. So while we're getting that ready, we're going to start cooking our pork and our broccoli for this pork fried rice recipe. So me being the good host that I am, I've already got all my broccoli and my pork chopped up. So I'm going to get my wok ready. And if you don't have a wok like this, you can use any standard frying pan. Just don't put more ingredients in that you have room for in your pan. So you can use olive oil, some vegetable oil, whatever you want to, just to grease your pan a little bit. I am a big fan of sesame oil. So I'm going to get some of this going on right down in here. And also, I like to spice things up a bit. If you have it, that's great. If you don't have it, that's fine. I'm going to use a little bit of sesame chili oil. So we're going to add just a little bit of sesame heat to this. We'll get that spun around inside of our wok, or a frying pan, again, just whatever you have. We're going to give this a little swooshing around. Get that oil all over the place in there. Now, for me, I'm using 4 center cut boneless pork loin chops. So if you don't like your recipe that meaty, you can dial it back to just 2 chops. Me, I like a lot of meat in my food. I like to have some leftovers. I'm feeding a family of 3. I want lunch for the next day for me and wifey, maybe even the kiddo. So lots and lots of meat. Oh, we got one little straggler there. We got one little pork. Woo! And we'll just get this stirred around here just a little bit. I'm going to let that start to brown up just a little bit before I put any spice on it. So I wanted to just sit there and behave and be some good little pork loin chops. So if you're into this content, do me a solid right now. Give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and gently click the notification bell so you get a pop-up every time we post a new recipe. And be sure to share with your friends and families, because they might want to learn how to make some Ray fried rice too, right? So again, I'm no professional chef. I have 0 culinary training, but I have a passion for food, and I'm here to share that with you guys. So hopefully you're passionate as well. You want your friends and family to be passionate. And I'm showing you a recipe that you can use to impress your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, kiddos, or your friends if you want to have them over for some Netflix and chill once we're done with the social distancing stuff. Yeah. So we're going to let that go. Our water here is getting hot. Oh, I love it when the water gets hot. And again, we're going to bring this up to a roaring boil. It's going to take a couple of minutes. And that's fine. Totally fine. So I'm cooking on a medium to low heat on the pork right here. We don't want that to cook too fast. We want our pork to stay juicy and tender. If you cook it too fast in this process, it's going to shrink down. It's going to get tough. It's going to lose all those amazing juices, and we don't want that. I'm going to stir it around just a little bit, keep it moving. Let it start pick up those sweet, wonderful flavors from that sesame oil. It's going to pick up some of that heat from the sesame chili oil that I threw in there. And we're going to let this cook up just a little bit. So here in just a minute, we're going to toss our broccoli florets in there. I like fresh broccoli. I buy the broccoli crowns, and I chop them up so you just get the fun the bristles. My 6-year-old daughter calls them trees. I love that. A lot of kids, if you don't think they like broccoli so much, you convince them they're eating a tree. Sometimes they'll take that first bite and they'll learn that they love it. So just a fun little creative way to get the kiddos involved with some broccoli. And I'm hoping you guys can hear this sizzle. One thing I love about cooking is you get to utilize all 5 senses through the process. And sometimes just hearing that little bit of sizzle is fun, adds a cool new dynamic to the experience. So as far as seasoning the pork, for this I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to use some SPG, just some salt, pepper, and garlic. I'm going to grab them in that order. I'm a big fan of sea salt. Put this down right here for y'all. I'm using just about a tablespoon of the salt. We'll get that down in there. We'll get our pepper in there. Look at this black pepper. Oh, that looks good. And I'm using about 2 tablespoons of just garlic powder. Nothing too fancy. You can find that at any store. And we'll drop that down in there and leave it sit for just a second because my water is now boiling over. So I'm going to take my rice. I've got 1.5 cups of jasmine rice. I'm a big fan of the jasmine rice. Any old rice will do. But we're going to give it just a little bit of a stir. We don't want it to get clumpy. We're going to leave it sit in there, put the lid on it so we trap as much of that steam as possible. And we're going to have some tender, wonderful rice. So while that's going, I'm going to give my pork here a little bit of a stir. We will incorporate all of the flavors from that sesame oil, the salt, the pepper, and the garlic. And when you're cooking, sometimes, it's great to just stop and just take a big old whiff of what you're making. Just, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Get down on that smell. Just love it.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, look who's joined us here.
Oh,
hey, man,
I jump in and you already got the meat going. You got the rice going.
Yes,
you got seasonings. I got a lot of catching up to do because I'm actually going to be cooking along. You all can be cooking. The rest of you's down there. You can cook with us. You might be watching this after it's live, but there is no script. This is just a couple foodies who just want to have some fun online and share that fun.
Absolutely.
So you want to do a recap so far? Because I got to catch up with you here.
Yes, you do. So we got 2 main components started right now. We've got our rice that is steaming right now.
Okay.
So if you get a small pot out, you're going to need 1.5 cups of rice and 2 cups of water.
1.5 cups of rice, 2 cups of water. Okay.
And on the internet, you're breaking up just a little bit there.
Can you hear me all right?
Much better.
Okay. All right. So I got to get a pot out.
Yes.
And I'm gonna throw up my little cooking board here.
Cooking spray, Chris?
Cooking spray in the pot for the rice?
Yeah, just like a little Pam butter spray, whatever you've got. Just put a light coat on the bottom of that. It's going to keep that rice from sticking. Cool.
Actually, I'm going to show you something. This is kind of cool. A friend of mine got me this right here. It's an air pump for olive oil.
Oh, that works.
And it's
just a light coat on the bottom there.
Like that.
And I see a couple comments here. Hello, Weenie Boys. Thanks for tuning in. Our friend Stephanie Carper is watching tonight as well. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're enjoying this.
Been waiting for this recipe. Yeah, me too. All right. So I can do the rice. I know how to make rice. How do I season? Do I get the water boiling first, or what do I do?
So a great way to steam your rice is bring your water to a roaring boil. Don't put the rice in the water at all. As soon as you get that boil, turn the temperature all the way down to low as it'll go. Put the rice in, give it a little stir, put your lid on the pot, and don't touch it for 10 minutes. Just
What about seasoning? Is that later?
We're going to get a lot of flavor from the pork. So we've already got our SPG on the pork.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get flavor from the broccoli. I use sesame oil to season the pan, right? And it's down in there. And then also we're going to be adding some plum sauce. So we want all those flavors to soak into the rice. You don't need to season the rice in this case. Over season that way.
All right. Well, I'll get the rice going here. I'll send you right back. But also check out the Biggestrayray's channel. He's got actually, let's see if we can throw this up here. He's got me shopping at Racers. This is actually the bag of the stuff that I went to get right here. So it was fun. I got to wear a crazy mask. Go check out his live stream from today on Biggestrayray and the quarantined live stream. This is quarantine cooking. He had a quarantine live stream there. And feel free to comment below with questions. I'm going to try to keep it going up there. Stephanie's got a comment. And definitely am going to try this recipe for sure. But Ray, I think I'm going to try your burger recipe this weekend. Wait, did you do a burger recipe and you didn't tell me?
I posted the video about a week and a half ago, Chris. It's as easy a burger as you can make. It was tough as it was for me to do. I used pre-made patties, which I'm not a huge fan of. But while we're in quarantine, I wanted to use ingredients that you can get super simple. Make a recipe in 10 or 15 minutes and make it delicious. So I incorporated some fresh jalapeno and red onion and also introduced goat cheese to my burger on a toasted croissant.
All right, I'm going to have to look that up because I actually just bought some 85% ground beef from Reese's 2 days ago. They had it on sale, so I'm going to pick that up, and I got to make some burgers out of it because I can make 6 third-pound burgers. Now, third pound is not a Biggestrayray size, I know, but I like that scale. I feel that's just right.
That's all right. Third-pound patties, you can stack them up.
You stack them up.
It's all good, man. It works.
Well, I'm going to chime out here just and come back here in a minute, but for now, I got to catch up here. I got a lot of cooking to do.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Oh, before I let you go, you diced up your pork. I missed that. Did I miss the dicing? Did you pre-dice? You pre-diced.
So, because I did, I pre-diced everything. I chopped up my broccoli, the broccoli crown. You got to get rid of all of the stem and whatnot. So I just like the big fluffy parts. That's where all the flavor is. And the pork, I diced it all up and had it ready to go to drop in the pan.
How hot do you have the pan?
So because I'm cooking a little slow right now, so it has a chance to catch up with the rice, but typically you want a medium to low heat. So you keep that pork nice and juicy and tender. We don't want to overcook that. Okay,
medium low, and then it just salt and pepper garlic?
Yes, just the SPG, salt and pepper garlic. Keep it simple for this recipe.
All right, well, I will get started here. Keep it going.
Oh, yes. All right, so at this point, the rice is going to be just about halfway done. So I'm going to drop some broccoli in here now. Look at this beautiful broccoli. Oh, my goodness. I love fresh broccoli. If you're in a hurry, you can absolutely use some frozen broccoli, but I like fresh. It's about the same price. It just takes 30 seconds to chop these up, and the flavor you get out of it is just going to be fantastic. Now, I don't want to season this up anymore. I've got plenty of seasoning that I dropped in for the pork. We got the sesame oil still going on in here. So we're just going to toss that in and just mix it around and let these start to cook up. That's starting to look super, super good. And we're going to let these go here for just a couple of minutes. I'm just going to keep moving around a little bit to let those flavors mix in and blend in. Now, this looks good enough to eat right now already, doesn't it? Like, I'm seeing this, and I like the contrasting colors, the bright green off the color of the pork. Another one of those senses we get to utilize when we're eating is sight. And half of the experience when we have food is eating food that looks good. Because when it looks good, you just want to dive right in and jump on that. I'm going to sneak a peek here at my rice. I want to see how it's doing. Reaching just, it's still just a little too al dente, and that's fine. It's got to go a few more minutes. Now, mind you, if I wasn't using this rice in a fried rice dish, I would cook it all the way through. But because we're going to introduce it to a really hot pan, I want it to be just slightly slightly undercooked so it can finish cooking with the rest of the ingredients here. Oh, and you know what? There's one thing I forgot to pull out of the fridge, Chris. I need a single egg.
Ooh, I'll grab one of my eggs too. But
Yeah,
I wanted to show it. Research actually had, this is the boneless, skinless Kansas City strip pork chops. If they could see this, was only $1.29 a pound. Are you cooking all four for the amount you're cooking, Greg?
I am.
Where'd you go? We're all walking away.
I had to get that egg.
So you're cooking all four, right?
Yeah, so I like a big meaty meal. So I put all four of my chops into the pan here.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get these guys diced up then on why you're cooking.
All right. So I'm making a nest here for my egg. So I've got it at a fairly low heat on my wok still. In just a couple of minutes, as the rice gets ready, I'm going to crank the heat all the way up on this. And I'm going to drop my egg in my little nest. And we're going to stir it up and get some scrambled egg action going on in here. And that just adds a little extra flavor. It helps hold things together. And who doesn't like an egg in their fried rice? How often do you go to a Chinese restaurant and get fried rice with no egg in it? It's just kind of boilerplate for that. And then you can drop a second egg in there if you want to. I just like one. So that is good enough for me. So I'm going to keep these up here on the sides. And this is one thing I love about a wok, because you can kind of position things on the side. The sides are going to be warm, and it just works. It works out well. And I'm going to be moving these things here in just a minute. Once I get the rice out, I'm going to be moving my wok up to the front burner, and it's going to make it a lot easier for me. But with the setup I have in my kitchen and the cameras I have, this works out really well. And if y'all could smell this, oh, mercy. Mercy me. It's too bad we don't have smell-o-vision yet. Oh, look at Chris go. I'm watching you cut, Chris. Look at him do it. Those are great, great sizes, man. Cut them the other way a little bit. They'll be perfect for this recipe. So for all of you guys in the audience right now, please be sure to drop comments. It's a lot of fun for me to take a break and just look at these over here and see what y'all are thinking and talking about. So again, thank you, Stephanie, for checking out the burger recipe and letting me know that you're going to give that a shot. Hopefully you enjoy that. I don't see how you couldn't enjoy it. I'm getting excited thinking about that, because I'm going to have me a burger sometime soon.
So how long does the rice take? I usually use a rice cooker, so this is new for me.
So this takes just about 10 to 12 minutes. And something to think about is we don't want our rice to cook all the way through. We want it slightly al dente. And we're going to finish the rice off in your frying pan or your wok. If you cook it all the way through, you're going to overcook it with everything else over here.
Speaking of the rice, I got to jump it. Look at that steam. You can see it.
Oh, I can see that in the background there. It is doing its thing. It is doing its thing. So, and my friend Albert is tuned in. How you doing, Albert? Thanks for tuning in tonight. I know you're here from Pennsylvania. I know I had a little nest there to go for my egg, but I need to move this stuff around just a little bit. So the pork is going to be just about all the way done at this point if it's not already. And that is 100% A-okay. We'll move this around a little, get some of those flavors get incorporated in all the little broccoli trees we have here. They're going to soften up here in just a minute as I crank the heat up on this. There we go. Make my little nest egg again. Oh, yeah. Now it's time to crank up the heat all the way.
Are you doing the egg now?
Yes.
All right.
So I just cranked up the wok to high heat. It's going to take a couple of minutes to get this to a spot where it needs to be. So I'm going to leave it sit there for just a minute. And we're going to hear some pops and sizzles off of this. And that's a good thing. It'll let you know the magic is happening. You know, people always talk about recipes and how it was made with love. If you love what you're doing, you're going to get sweaty in the kitchen. That sweat's going to drip off your forehead into your food. That's the love. That's the love right there. That extra little bit of salty flavor drips right off of the forehead down into the food. You stir that around, and there's a little piece of you and everything you're making. That's right. So look at that right there. Doesn't that look good? I know that looks fantastic.
All right, Ray. The rice started to boil over. Now, what happens if the rice starts boiling over? You just turn it down?
Oh, remember, you got to turn the heat all the way down after you get to that rolling boil.
Ah, okay. See, I missed that. I should have been watching more closely.
It's all good, man. So I'm going to take the lid off my rice at this point. I'm going to give that a little double check here. It's already, ooh, that's hot. I should have known better than that. Take this little bit out right here, give it a little taste, a little feel, see what it's like. Oh, that's exactly where I want it. That is so good. So this one, I'm going to take this off of the heat. I'm going to turn my heat all the way up on this burner. You guys should be seeing that flame right there. Turn my other burner off. I'm going to pull this up right here where I can work with it a little bit. Oh, look at that goodness. Look at that. Build that nest egg out just a little bit. I'm going to crack my egg. Drop that down in there just like that. Get this eggshell out of my way. Rinse off my hand a bit. Sorry, I'm off camera for that, I know. Turned on my sink that's making some extra noise for y'all.
Well, I'm still cutting over here. You know, that's the
Since we're doing this live and not in the studio, there's going to be some real life stuff in there just like that.
Yep.
Now,
I mean, like if I cut my finger right now, you get to see it, right?
I want to get the egg whites to give me some shape.
Ooh, that looks good. Let me see that.
A little bit. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. I love the contrasting yellow off the green there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stir this around all in there, just this one spot. Just scramble this one egg right here until it's all the way cooked. Just keep it moving. It's all right if it touches some of the other stuff. It's going to heat up. It's going to cook all the way through. And everything will be all right. Now is where I want it. I'm going to stir it all in, everything else here. Get it all stirred up, nice and pretty. Now at this point, once it all gets stirred up, the egg is all incorporated. It's all in there, give us a little texture, a little flavor love. I'm going to add some watered chestnuts to this. Watered chestnuts have a very light and mild flavor. And like tofu, it incorporates a lot of the flavors that you put in and around it. And it gives you a nice little crunch. So as long as you don't overcook it and make it soft, it gives you a whole other texture to enjoy while you're eating your fried rice. When you get all that in there, get all that egg incorporated, mixed around. Now I saw Chris grab one of these when he was at the store today on my live stream. But here's some water chestnuts. If you haven't seen those before, they're fantastic. We're just going to dump this whole little can inside of there. Now I did empty the liquid out of the can before I stirred these in there, because you don't want to add a bunch of extra liquid, and that's not going to help anything. And just get all these dudes stirred in here just like that. We'll let these cook up for just a couple minutes. Now, mind you, I'm still rolling on a high heat. So we're almost done with this recipe. So we're just at 24 minutes in. We got less than 5 minutes to go, and this will be at 100% complete tonight. You can have a dish to feed a family, easily a family of 4. You're going to have some leftovers. If you want to have some extra friends over to the house after we're out of quarantine, this is a great dish for that. You can find some frozen pot stickers at a local international market. You can get some steam buns. Both of those pair very well with a fried rice dish. And look at all that meat and vegetables in there. So healthy.
All right, Ray. So earlier, when you put all the seasoning on the meat,
yes.
How much did you put on?
So I used a tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of pepper, 2 tablespoons of garlic.
Garlic. I need to put more of that in there. By the way, we got. How many cameras are you using, Ray? You have 2 views.
I have 2 cameras.
Yeah. And we have Albert.
And I think you have 2 cameras.
Hello. I have 2 cameras. We have 2 cameras. Together we have 4 cameras. And Stephanie says Ray would have to confirm, but I'm guessing that. Okay. She's answering his question. All right.
So this is all where I want it to be now. And so we're in a great plate. I'm spreading this out a little bit because the wok is really hot. So I don't want this to get clumpy or anything sticking together. So I'm going to spread it out up along the sides of my wok here. And if you're using a regular frying pan, just do the best you can for this. It's time to add our rice to this dish. Look at this delicious rice. Look how good that looks. That long grain jasmine rice, high quality stuff there. We're going to dump all of this right inside there. Look at all that rice. So much rice. I'm going to cover it up here just a little bit. And kind of let some of that steam sit in there and let those flavors incorporate with each other. So I learned this from a friend of mine. He's got a fantastic cooking channel. It's called Chef Shamsher. Be sure to give that a look sometime. My friend's from Pakistan. He cooks recipes that he learned from his mother and his grandmother. And something he taught me when you make biryani is you do something called dum. And that's when you cover your dish with rice and just let it slow cook. It keeps all those flavors in there. Everything incorporates. And I do that a little bit with my fried rice. So not the same, but very similar technique. And so we're just going to let all these flavors just come together under that, under that high heat. And it's going to be so good.
So go back a little bit. Your broccoli. How small did you cook?
I'm dancing when I cook. I love it so much.
So Ray,
how's it coming, Chris?
It's coming along. The meat's over there. Let me show you that real quick. So you can kind of see how that's coming along.
I don't know if you can hear me. How's it? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looking so good. I need to get that broccoli in there, bro.
Well, that's what I'm working on cutting right now. And I was wondering how small you cut.
Oh, he's cutting it up.
Can you hear me?
Did you mute yourself?
No. How did you? How small?
Got no audio from you.
Yeah. Hang on.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Now that we've got all this where I want it, I'm going to turn my heat down now just a little bit. I'm actually going to turn it down to low. Everything's all the way cooked. Everything is cooked. And while the pan is still hot, the rice is going to continue to cook. It's going to get to that spot where it's super soft and just easy to eat. And there's only one thing left for me to add at this point that's required, and that's going to be the plum sauce. That's going to be the superstar flavor additive to this show. But look at all this food here. There's so much food. You're going to feed a lot of people with this, and this is really about $15. And so you can go a long way with a little bit of money if you know what you're looking for. So here's my plum sauce. Check that out. And if you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you can find this at any Reese's. And wherever your local grocer, I'm sure, is going to have this in the international section of their store. Or if you do have an international market where you're at, you can easily find this as well. But look at that beautiful color. Oh, that is phenomenal. I love it. And as soon as this stuff heats up, I'm going to be able to smell it. And then I'm going to hear it as it's cooking. And then I'm going to taste it. And it's going to make everything all right. All right, all right, all right. Now we just got to stir this up a little bit. And again, it's really, really going to shine through the aroma from this as it heats up in your pan. You get all that rice in there. We want this flavor to cover all the little parts of the broccoli. I mean, broccoli is like the inside of your lung, all those alveoli. It has all that surface area for things to just attach to. And that flavor really sits on the broccoli. So I'm a fan of not seasoning the broccoli because all the flavors are going to get incorporated as this finishes up. And look at that. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Smells so good. Super simple recipe. Easy ingredients to find. We're going to get a nice crunch again from those water chestnuts. We're going to get that awesome chew out of the broccoli. We're going to add some surface area to the dish. The kids are going to love it. The adults are going to love it. We got that binder in there from the one scrambled egg. And then this beautiful jasmine rice. And when all these powers combine, you get some Ray fried rice. How about that?
All right, you know, they may not, well, they might be cooking along with us and smell it too.
What do you think of that, Chris?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
All right. So, well, we got Rachel Robinson chiming in saying, hello.
Oh, hey, Rachel. How you doing tonight? Say hi to Lee and stuff for me.
So, I'm about to throw the broccoli in. And
do what now?
I'm about to throw the broccoli in, and it smells so good. Oh, my gosh. It smells good. You weren't kidding. But do you drain your water chestnuts?
Yes. Be sure to drain the water out of those water chestnuts. You don't need that.
Okay.
So, and Chris, where I'm at, I am at 100%. This dish is done.
Wow. Well, I'm not far behind you, so I will let you wrap this up while I throw things in.
So, got to get a nice little bowl here to put it in. Look at this beautiful bowl. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Let's get a big old bowl full of this right here. And I know I'm making clanky sounds, guys. I'm so sorry for that. Not very professional. But it looks good. It smells good. It's going to taste good. And just like that, we have a bowl of pork fried rice with broccoli and water chestnuts. If you want to add a little bit of soy sauce to this, you can. A little bit of sriracha will go a long way. And you can just add those layers to that flavor profile and just have a delicious meal. Again, all of this for under 20 bucks. Easily feed a family of 4. If you got a family of 6, it'll cover that. And you still might have some leftovers for lunch tomorrow. I'm so ready to eat this. But I'm going to wait for Chris to get done. Yes, indeed.
You don't have to. Yes. This is a horrible view.
Don't forget.
You don't have to wait for me.
This video. Thank you for the shout out, Winnie boys.
And you can see the broccoli's already in there. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching Everyone Eats. I'm Rants. That's the Biggestrayray. And we will see you next time on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you're watching this. Don't forget, like and subscribe, like and follow, do all the buttons.
All the buttons.
Have a wonderful time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.